So we're here at Linaro Connect. So who are you?
I'm Leendert van Doorn. I'm a corporate fellow at AMD.
So what have you been doing here at Linaro Connect?
Largely talking to people and meeting people. There's a bunch of sessions I've been attending, but it's been primarily meeting people and having good conversations with them.
So at ARM TechCon about 6 months ago, 5 months ago, AMD announced Cortex-A57, 53 server chip.
Yep.
Right? So that's what would you like to see happen? Now you remember Linaro, right? What do you like to see happen here?
Well, as you saw, right, that week when we did that announcement, we actually also did the Linaro membership announcement. So what I'm looking for Linaro is really help drive that ARM software ecosystem. It's extremely important to get that up and to get that up and running quickly. Critical components like the kernel enablement, firmware enablement, but also Java enablement, I think are critical for the ARM ecosystem, the ARMv8 ecosystem. And that's, I think, where Linaro can be a great help.
So what is your impression about what's going on here at Linaro? Is it super positive or lots of feature requests, or what can you say?
I think actually fairly favorable. It's definitely a lot of enthusiastic people that want to help fix the problem. I think from my perspective, I've only been a member from Linaro for, what is it now, 5 months or so. So I'm really looking for results, and it's still a little bit too early for that, specifically on V8. But all of what I've seen so far, I'm very positive.
So how do you qualify results? And how many results do you want, and in what exactly kind of things?
Yeah, so results I'm looking for clearly patches that are being upstreamed. I'm looking for the UEFI changes being upstreamed and actually stabilized, right? Because typically ARM will do part of the development, but then it has to be upstreamed, it has to be driven forward, it has to be made more solid, a lot more testing, a lot more bug fixes. So that's what kind of things I'm looking for, as well as some of the other things we've got on the roadmap right now, such as Java enablement, such as some of the verticals that we're going after. So
is Linaro's task, is it gigantic, or is it specified in a corner of what needs to be done here?
I think that, enabling the ARMv8 ecosystem is a pretty daunting and big task, right? And so Linaro is going to be a critical part of that, but it's more than Linaro. It's much, much bigger than Linaro.
So that's, as you said on stage, it's the Canonical, the Red Hat, the OpenSUSE. Is that what it is? And what else could it be?
Oh, so they're part of that, right? So what they do is they take the pieces that Linaro upstreams, and they turn it into a product, and they put a service offering around it. But then it's also the Cloudera companies, the companies that built the OpenStack, the companies that built the Hadoop infrastructure, all those kinds of things on top of that.
And where does AMD take all that stuff, all this code, and differentiate? What is AMD going to do with all that?
Well, where we're going to differentiate, I'm going to wait for that. You have to wait for that and see when we come out with the product. But we basically going to take ARM wherever it goes, right? I mean, ARM, I think, is a very viable product. It will probably initially go into the web services and things like Hadoop, things that we're heavily dependent on Java, where the ISA is not that critical. But way beyond that, I mean, the sky's the limit, right?
So I don't want to ask you about any secrets, but can you try to explain, or it's maybe official already, how AMD adds all the stuff that they know from x86 world into this ARM chips and software and all that? What can you say? So
you are right. AMD brings a lot of expertise, enterprise expertise to the ARM world, right? That's really one of our big differentiators. And so part of that is relationships that we have with customers and the trust that they have in us, that we do the right thing, as well as focusing on the right feature set that we need to enable in software. And part of that we've discussed here within Linaro now, RAS features, following standards, those kinds of things.
And again, I don't want to ask something secret, but how could that be used in where the AMD chips go, like laptops and servers, desktops? I mean, there's a potential, I guess, but nothing's been announced. But can you say anything about all this work is basically for all kinds of devices, right?
So our initial focus, right, is very much on server, but as I said, ARM will go where it will go, and obviously when we see a market opportunity, we'll look at it very closely.
So you're looking forward to the next few months? There's some things that are going to happen, right?
Yes, I'm looking very close to forward to some of the foundational work that the LEG is doing and finalizing that, and actually taking that into my company and start using that on my products, or proto products.